Immigrant money, immigrant money. I came from overseas now I got the money.
Hi everyone, welcome back again to a midweek session of Immigrant Money. Again, my name is Steven, gang, and I'm here today with someone that belongs to the IT field that is going to talk to us about, important, like what's trending right now. It's going to talk to us about software development and all the other good things that are happening in that industry. And like we always do, we don't introduce our guests, we let them tell you about themselves. So without much, talking, Chris, how you doing, man?
Good.
Hey, good.
Good.
Can you tell them about you, first of all? Who are you? What's your name? What do you do? And all that good stuff.
Yep. So my name is Chris Cumberbatch. I am a software consultant. So my day-to-day looks like helping customers implement software that my company makes. And so it could range from anything involving project management type stuff to actual development to IT sometimes. I'm tech support some days. It's a range of things that I do on a day-to-day basis, but the goal is just to ensure that the customer successfully implements our software.
That's pretty good. Like we always do here, sometimes we like, we do a little toast or a little, shot to like, break the ice. But Chris is on a, Chris is on a, I don't know if you want me to talk about it, but he said, no, we're not doing that today. So we're just gonna go and hope that, the answers that we get out of the man are actually good answers. You know what I mean? So without wasting so much of your time, how did you get into this field? What did you do to become a software consultant?
Yeah. So there's a bunch of different ways to get into the software industry. But for my path specifically in undergrad, I studied mechanical engineering. And mechanical engineering is one of those, I guess it's one of the least specialized of the engineerings. When you think of like civil engineering, mechanical, chemical engineering. And so mechanical engineers tend to end up in all kinds of roles. And so I ended up working straight out of college for a company that makes CAD software. And from there, I kind of ended up moving from there into a more software development type role, working in what they call the IoT space, which is Internet of Things. So IoT is basically your smart connected devices. When you start thinking about commercials where you see your refrigerator at home connected to the internet, you could get data about, you could get data from it. You can know if it's operating okay, if there's any problems, if you're out of this, that, and the other. So that's primarily the field I work in. For me, coming into this role, I think I leverage my bachelor's degree, my undergrad degree, but there's a bunch of ways that you could get into the software space. So for what I do specifically, there are two ways that you could get in. Either some bachelor's degree in a technical type field, or have prior experience in some kind of technical or professional role. And so, for software, there's just a vast amount of areas in software that you could get into. I know every time somebody says like you work in software, they think, oh, you just you code or you're a developer all day.
Right.
But there's a bunch of different areas that you could get into software,
Right.
and there are a bunch of different openings that a lot of folks need to apply to, especially minority folks. I have a few resources that I'll share in a second, but they really focus on getting minorities in the software world.
Okay. Talking about being a minority, right? I know you're an immigrant. They probably don't know that, but we all know that everybody that jumps on the show is an immigrant. We came from somewhere out of the United States. Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, born and raised.
Yep. Something like that, born and raised. So how did your journey from where you come from, how do your background growing up, how is it affecting your work? How is it helping you be better at work, or not so helping? Like, what kind of changes do you have to undergo or conform to be able to be a better software consultant?
That's good. I think a lot of different. I have a lot of different answers to that. But one of the things that when I was younger and when I first came to the U.S., especially, that I had to work on was coming from Trinidad, we're all about working hard, working diligently, and then letting that hard work speak for itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's a lot of in the software world or in any professional setting,
Mm-hmm.
to get further along, there's a lot of soft skills and a lot of other stuff that you have to pick up. You have to get big on networking,
Mm-hmm.
on learning how to resolve conflict, learning how to deal with different types of people, learning how to ask for help,
Right.
and not just like
Right.
spend all day working on something.
Right.
And so I think there was some unlearning
Mm-hmm.
that I had to do, coming into this space and coming to the US, because I was all about autonomy and I could
Right.
do it and I'm
Right.
smart enough to do it. But
Right.
it's not always about working hard, it's about working smart sometimes.
Okay.
And so
Right. You heard that. Heard it's not about working hard. Don't kill yourself. It's about working smart. About getting into the field, before we talk about that, let's talk about the money, right? I don't want you to come over here and tell us how much you make a year, but I mean, what's salary range, right? Like for, your type of job?
yeah, for my type of job, you're looking at anywhere from, I don't know what the bottom and top end is, but I would say you're looking at anywhere from like 80, 100,000,
Right.
what I do specifically.
Right.
But in the world of software, man, there is a lot of money to be made. I mean,
Right.
it all depends on what you do.
Mm-hmm.
But some roles you're looking at 300,000. You're looking
Wow.
at,
Wow.
so,
wow.
you go in surplus. What I do specifically, tech consulting. I feel like there's a hierarchy at my job of levels, and so I'm not at the top level or close to the top level
Right.
at all.
Right.
But you're looking at anywhere, for what I do specifically, you're looking at anywhere from 80 to maybe, I don't know, 150,
Wow.
120.
It's really cool.
But that's low in the software world. That's small in the software world.
Right. I feel that. Because I feel like that's where you start, right?
Yeah,
You work from home right now?
I do work from home. Yeah,
Okay.
I work from home before the pandemic even started, mostly because before I used to travel to my customers, and then whenever I was here, usually work remotely. But now, since the pandemic, we don't travel to customers anymore, so it's
You
just a
just
bunch
work
of
from
remote.
home.
Yep.
Can you hold two of the same type of jobs like you have right now? Do you have two jobs or just one?
So I cannot have. So I'm here on a work visa. So
Okay.
so my journey is a little complicated, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give advice, and some of it may not necessarily apply to me.
Right.
But I'm here on a work visa, so I can't really hold two jobs
Okay.
because my visa is for my company specifically.
Okay.
But there is a lot of opportunity to do freelance type of work in software, and so you could have a full-time job. You could also consult on the side. You can provide services in your free time. So there's a lot of opportunity to. I know a few folks that they have their 9 to 5,
Right.
and they're so good at it. It's more like a 9 to 3.
Right.
And then they use, the rest of the time to like pour into,
Other stuff.
their other stuff. So there's
Right.
definitely opportunity.
Because
Yeah.
I'm asking because I think I remember one person saying they work from home, and it's kind of like kind of like your type of job, and what they do is they work for like two companies, like they have two computers pulled up, and they're able to
Oh, 2 full-time jobs?
two full-time
Oh,
jobs.
wow.
And just imagine you having two full-time jobs and one job spend like 150K, right? And it's like the same type thing, and you do it the same way. And I feel like that could be like a really, really, really good field to be in. What resources? Let's say I don't want to make 2 years to get an associate degree, or I don't want to go the 4-year route. What resources can I leverage to kind of like be a software consultant, or maybe be a project manager? Or what things can I do?
Yeah, definitely. I think it would be the same advice for all of software and tech, really. is there are so many boot camps and certifications going on, and you could find one that's either in your budget or in your within your constraints in terms of time. But there's so many programs out there that you just have to find the right one for you in terms of what you want to do. So if you're a person that, for example, you're more business oriented and you feel like you could be the middle ground between like engineers and like the business people, maybe you might want to consider going into product management,
Right.
which is that kind of in between. If you're somebody that you just want to develop, you want to work on some product, you want to work with other engineers to solve some problem, maybe you just want to be a software developer.
That makes sense.
If you're somebody like, if you like traveling, you like working with different customers, you like being a people person but also having technical skills, you might want to go into some kind of software consulting. So it all depends on what you want to do. But for each of those things, with the exception of consulting, there is some type of boot camp certification that you could get that you could use as a credential in lieu of a degree. In software world, you really don't, these days you really don't need a degree, to be honest.
Okay.
You just have to prove that you can do the job that they're about
Okay.
to pay you to do.
Do you have a degree?
I do. I have
Yeah.
I have a few.
You have a few degrees.
I'm an immigrant. This is how we stay in this country. Is degrees.
You gotta get your education up. So if you didn't have your degrees, also, do you have other certifications in addition to those?
Yeah, I do have certifications for some platforms, specifically like an IoT platform called ThingWorks, and then working on other certifications like a Scrum certification. So Scrum is a methodology. It's an agile methodology in software
Right.
development.
Right.
Just the core is just quick results, quick feedback from the customer, incorporating those results into your product. And so that's something that that's another way you could go. You could be a Scrum person, which is more in the realm of like project management mixed with, you have to have project management skills, but also understand how software products are built in an agile environment.
Right.
And maybe you could go into like some kind of Scrum, they call it Scrum Master. I don't know if I like the term too much, but it's basically the person that kind of understands the software development process and keeps everyone up to task with their deliverables, the outcomes,
Right.
and all that other stuff.
So can someone get a job with just that certification?
Yep, and I feel like I want to use this to point out two people I've been following on Twitter lately, and they've been just giving out so many free resources for minorities, and a lot of people have been getting jobs. I mean, every day they're retweeting someone who followed their advice, got a job within months, 200,000, 300,000 starting salaries.
Wow.
So
What are the job titles so we can let these people know? Because it's like, what kind of jobs are they getting?
So a lot of they on top of the list right now, if you have any kind of cloud certification, so if you have certifications in Azure, Google, Amazon, AWS, any of those cloud platforms, jobs for those are going. Right now, you could get one very easily, just get the certifications. Product management is another big one. Product management / product ownership and Scrum type roles.
Right.
And you could get certified for those. They have like, I was just looking at, there's like a workshop that's like 8 hours a day for 2 or 3 days, and you get certified at the end of it. But there's a bunch of different certifications that you could take for it. But any of those roles, you're looking at starting at least 150, depending on how much experience you have. Start 200 up.
Wow.
So.
Wow. Where can they find these resources? You could who are these people on Twitter, and can we just tell them, or is there's like secret?
Oh, not secret at all. I'm looking for them right now.
Okay.
So the first person that I followed, her name is Kanika or Kanika. I don't know if I say it right. Kanika Tova. And her on Twitter, she is at Kanika, Kanika, Tolver, Tolver. I started following her, and I got open to like this whole world of Black and minority tech people, and they don't hold any secrets. They want you to succeed, and she's been putting in work. She's been sponsoring folks even to get like some certifications. Sometimes I've seen her like go out of her way to help people I would say definitely follow her. Everyone, she's been every day. She like retweets somebody who said they got like a $200,000 job,
Wow.
150K starting, and these are people who had no background in tech before.
Wow.
That took
So
these certifications and
then
immediately got like jobs.
Wow. That's
So
crazy.
so there are jobs out there to get. You just need to get the certifications
And then
and secure the jobs really.
right. So, like an immigrant, when we come here, school's like the main thing. You gotta go to school, gotta get your masters and stuff. Would you say that people should maybe focus on more certification and skills rather than going to school, or how would you go about it if you had a chance to do it all over again?
Yeah, well, so the only way I'm in this country is through school. So if I had to do it over, I would still have to go to school.
Right.
But I think it depends on you and what you're trying to do. And if that degree will help you. There's sometimes when, for some roles, especially in like more business oriented type fields, on the bridge of like business and tech, where you need the credential, you need that MBA, or you need the master's in engineering or something to get further along in your career.
Yeah.
But if you're just trying to break into the tech space, there is really no need to have a master's or to even have a bachelor's in a lot of cases. As long as you have the skills and the certifications to prove that you can do the job that you said you can, you're all set. So, but as an immigrant, we do value credentials a lot and degrees.
Right.
And I feel like there's good reason for that, and I could go into a whole diatribe, but in the tech space, you could break into tech space without those degrees easily. But in some careers, you just need the credentials just to have it. I know some jobs specifically, when you're trying to get to a certain level, there's say requirements, professional degree, etc., etc. So sometimes you can't escape it.
Right.
But college isn't for everyone. So I don't push college heavy on anyone. I feel that.
Like if you gotta go to school, you go to school.
Yeah.
If you don't have to. You keep talking about, like you're here on a school visa or work visa and stuff like that. How about people that are like, like in Trinidad right now? How could they get the same opportunities that you got? How did you get? I mean, like, what advice would you tell them, or what route can they go?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to tell them everything.
I'm trying to think of advice. I don't know if I have any good advice. But I think, especially for like a lot of tech jobs and jobs in general these days, just get into a good way to get in is just get into a school.
Okay.
Coming from outside the US, I feel like a lot of us, we chase the brand name schools, MIT, Harvard, Yale, all these, but just get into a good, accredited college and do your work, get your credentials, take advantage of all your opportunities, and just start networking and job hunting in finding internships early so you can make connections so that when you graduate, you have something secured. I think that's the only advice I could give, really.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
To add to it, right? You gave us like 3 jobs, like I think 3, like cloud certification, the project management, product owner, and stuff like that. How long does it take for someone to learn? You said some of them take like 3 days to get certified. How in your field, right? To your specific job, like say if I wanted to be a software consultant today, do I need to know how to code?
No, so there's no like certifications to be a software consultant because it's a vague term. It can mean anything. It can mean you implement Oracle for folks. It can mean anything, right? So, but to get into this space, you have to either have some kind of tech background or just have some kind of technical degree, right? So if let's say you get certified, go to some coding boot camp, get a coding job, and you decide, I want to, travel, work with different customers more. Now you have that background. That's a way to, get your foot into the door.
Right.
But there is no like certification path for consultants specifically. There are for like product management, for Scrum stuff, for cloud certifications, and another big one that I forgot is data analytics. That one is a lot of money.
Wow.
And it's easy to get certified without some kind of degree before. So Definitely want to get into one of
So
those.
essentially, right now, the tech space is hot. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, the jobs keep popping up every day.
Okay.
Just get the certification. Find your niche. Like I said, there's a bunch of different roles. If you want to work on products, if you want to be involved in that life cycle, if you want to be the one that sets, the roadmap for a product, determine what the ultimate goal for the product is. Maybe you want to do product management. There are people who do things like test code. There are software developers whose main role is to develop software test cases and test a product to make sure that it's robust. There are people who, like I said, they focus on like cloud infrastructure and they architect cloud solutions. There are people that like do data analytics. There's just so many different spaces that you could be in tech. Right. It's not all just me coding, working on a product. So.
Right. Just to kind of conclude here, a roadmap of your journey so far, where you intend to go. Where did you start? Where you at, and where you going with it?
Yeah. That's a good question.
If you're looking to start a healthcare company today, no matter what it is, from home healthcare to PCA agencies to full-blown staffing agencies, we at Nice Guys Corporation can help you. We can draft your policies, we can apply for your license, we can design a logo, we can create a website, we can create brochures, and create for you a strategic marketing plan that would guarantee your success. We have done it for countless healthcare companies already. So what are you waiting for? Call us today at 612-808-0474 or email us at info@niceguyscorporation.com. Again, if you're looking to start a healthcare company, we are your best chances of success.
I came to the US, I wanted to be an architect.
Okay. Wow. You wanted to build houses.
Design houses, right, and I was good at it. When I was in school, I took these like technical drawing classes on AutoCAD, and I thought I wanted to be an architect. Then I got here and I was like, I want to do civil engineering.
Okay.
And then I couldn't find, internships up and all these job opportunities for civil. And so I decided to go mechanical so that I just have like a more general engineering degree that I could like go into any space.
Right.
And then when I graduated, the first job I got kind of opened the door for software because I had never considered software before. In my mind, when I thought of software people, I just thought of like coding. These people here coding. And so then I ended up getting this, I didn't think of it also too much as engineering. I didn't know at the time. I was like, well, software is not really engineering. Well, now I know, that that's not the case. And so then once I got, the world of software opened up to me, and I was able to kind of see how I could apply my engineering skills to software and how the problem solving, working with teams, being a people person, communicating effectively. Once I saw how I could piece all that together and use it in the software world, then is when I decided to go ahead with my master's in software engineering.
Okay.
And that, to be honest, was more so. There was just a bunch of, I don't think it was necessary from my career where I'm at specifically. Right. But, it's a lot of other personal stuff, including immigration and like future, job goals that kind of pushed me to get that degree. And so I think that was the best thing for me. It won't necessarily be the best thing for other people, for everybody else.
So you want to be an architect. You then got into software, and then now you went and get a master's in that. What's next? What are you trying to do? What certifications are you trying to get? And what tech space? What space in the tech industry you really want to move towards?
Yeah, I have to be very careful with navigating space in general just because I'm an immigrant, but I'm here also to work specifically for my company, so I can't say anything crazy.
That makes sense.
But, I, just keeping and going with this path I'm on, I think, my goal would be to get into some kind of solution architect type role, or either solution design, or I've been like thinking about product management a lot lately, because I think any opportunity for me to, I guess, leverage my skills and the fact that I can communicate with technical folks and like business folks. I think that's where I shine, like being
Right,
in
right.
between those two spaces. That's
Right.
why I'm a consultant now,
Right.
because I get to work with a customer that has some business goal and implement software with technical people that meets that business goal.
Right.
And so I've been thinking about product management a lot.
Okay.
And you know, I, to be honest, don't have like some end goal
That you were
for software specifically.
Right.
I also have to be careful what I say.
I feel
But
that.
yeah, that's what I've been thinking about lately.
I feel like you're like the perfect person that someone who's here strictly on like like a work or school visa should talk to, because you feel like you're navigating the space, right? You know what to do. And
Oh,
what not to
100%.
do. Right.
If you have any questions or any advice,
Right.
talk to me, because I feel like I made a few missteps and I had a few other things, but generally, I've had a lot of experience in the system, going from a student visa, working after graduating, going on to this work visa, and starting to think about, green card in the future.
Right.
So if you have any questions about that, about navigating the U.S. school system as an international student, getting into software, find how to look for companies that will sponsor, and the kind of keywords to look out for, any of that stuff, you can hit me up for sure.
Let's touch more on that. Because that's really, really good, pertinent, like really good information, right? How navigating that part, right? Give us one of your worst mistakes and how to avoid it, and then one of the best things to do.
Worst mistakes? I feel like, I don't know if it's a mistake. I think I wish I had found my way to software earlier, so that I wouldn't have to go like this roundabout way. Physics, mechanical engineering, and then software.
Right.
Especially if I had like come out of undergrad, because one thing coming, a lot of these companies are looking for, they're either looking for very seasoned folks, 10 plus years in the industry, or very young, bright folks, brand new.
They can
So there's this awkward middle area where they're like, you're not really a senior level, but you're not brand new, and I don't know. But a lot of companies, they want brand new folks and tenured vets in the software industry. So for me, I would have preferred, to done some kind of either coding boot camp or come out of a software related degree in school and went straight into some kind of internship or job, because then you naturally matriculate through that gig, and then you get to some kind of senior level, and then you can leverage that as an immigrant, especially.
Right.
What you leverage is like years of experience and degrees. And so, as an immigrant, you can't really job hop too much, because part of your whole thing is, saying, well, this is the experience I bring. This is why they need to hire an immigrant to do that stuff.
Right.
So you have to just be careful with just how you navigate. I would say that would be my worst. Best. Going to like private schools for undergrad as an immigrant it's always a good thing, just because they tend to give you more money. Government schools is so much funding you could get, but at the end of the day, it's government funded and it goes to Americans.
Right.
So just look at a lot of private schools. They have like all these grants and scholarships. Both Notre Dame and Morehouse. I had a decent amount of scholarship. I mean, it's still, the little I had to pay was still a lot for me, but but I basically, especially at Notre Dame, had almost a full ride. So it was.
And they have this for most immigrants, right? International students.
Well, so at a lot of private schools, you'll find that they don't, it doesn't matter if you're international or American, and they just do it mostly need-based a lot of times. And so if you have the, scores or the credentials or what qualifications to get in, you could get that funding, as opposed to like a public school or a government school, where like they have these grants and funding, and I start talking about FAFSA and all these American type stuff. You want immigrants, you can't really get from that. So
you're a software consultant. And I know you said like 20 times already. You careful about what you say and stuff. But what if someone wanted to consult with you? What if someone wanted to reach out with you for information about the software, for information about you navigating?
Oh, you can
the
hit me
system?
up.
Where can they
Yeah.
find you?
You could.
Like how?
How can you find me?
Yeah.
You can find me on.
Twitter.
So I'm on on Instagram. You can find me at Trini TRINI Crooner CROONER.
Okay.
Working on getting some professional pages. You could go to LinkedIn / C Cumberbatch.
Okay.
And yeah.
There's one more thing that we gotta touch on, right? And that would be like our closer for the day. He said his name was Trini Crooner. What does that mean, bro? Talk to him. Don't talk to me. What?
Trini Crooner.
Yeah,
You didn't Google it?
I Google it, but tell
You
him.
Google crooner?
Yeah, you tell him.
So what is a
bro.
crooner?
I don't know. You tell him.
A crooner is like
a sing.
It's like when you think of like Frank Sinatra or somebody singing it with like a kind of baritone voice.
All right, so let's get something to close it out.
Oh no.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's get what? What should we get? What should we get?
For
Island
free?
Boy. For
No.
free. No, not
I'm an
Island
island boy.
Hey,
I'm
there
an
you go.
island boy.
There you go. Chris can actually really kill it, man. He can kill it.
A little something.
Not a little. Go to his Instagram, go to his Twitter, find out. Especially if you're an international student, if you're an immigrant, and you're looking to find, resources that he's been using to be up until this level where he's like a, software consultant, and in the United States, you can talk to him. Also, if you want to listen to some good songs too,
Right.
you could talk to him. I know, right? So hey, this has been a midweek session of Immigrant Money. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you so much, Chris. You have a good one.
All right, bro.
Man, you were so honest. I like that. I like that. All right, that's a wrap.